Okay, wrestling fans, as usual, we're super late with this, but we're going to review Raw and War Games all in one episode.
Sorry, we got lives.
We got lives, we got jobs, we got stuffs to do. So
we got bills to pay.
Yeah, and this
does not pay any of them just yet.
Yeah, just yet. Unless you want to subscribe, hit the like button. That goes a long way.
Yeah, do it. Smash that fucking like button.
Yes, he's Danny. I'm John. Let's go. Let's get Raw out of the way first because it was god awful.
It was hot garbage, but there were a few little highlights that we're gonna talk about.
Yes.
I'll let you go with the first one.
Well, off the top of my, let's not necessarily go in order. Off the top of my head, no, actually, you know what? We will go in order. The show started off with a Firefly Funhouse segment or whatever, and Bray Wyatt comes on and
flash Randy Orton in the ring, right?
Randy Orton in the ring. That kicks off the show, but we noticed right away that Alexa Bliss was not around. I forgot what it was that Bray said why she wasn't around.
It was because he was like that. Randy Orton didn't play well with her last time.
Didn't play nice with Alexa, something like that, to keep it within the storyline. But we found out later, confirming our suspicions, that Alexa Bliss is not long for WWE. Her acting is just too good. She's too talented. Hollywood is scooping her up very soon, and sooner than we thought. Because
she was filming a reboot for Punky Brewster, which was a show in the early 90s, I think. And
I looked it up. It said 1988, so that's probably when it started.
Oh, okay. So late 80s, early 90s. And apparently one of the producers of the show is Devon Dudley. Who knew?
So
that is how the news broke.
So a WWE Studios kind of thing?
Maybe. Or maybe he's doing his own thing with Netflix. I don't know, because I think it is Netflix bound.
Well, Big Show did have the Big Show on Netflix, which I still haven't watched. But
I did. It was actually thoroughly enjoyable. And today, the 9th, if I'm not mistaken, there's a Christmas special of the Big Show coming out on Netflix.
All right. Good looking out. So, Alexa Bliss gets her, I believe, her first TV role. So that's pretty cool for her. And there's that. And after that, let's see what else comes to mind. Drew McIntyre during what saved kind of an awful segment of Miz and Morrison.
TV?
Yeah. Was it actually Miz TV or was it just them riffing?
It's always Miz TV, and I'm on the train of I'm tired of Miz TV. I'm sorry.
Oh, because has WWE rammed something previously enjoyable down your throat and now you're bored?
I'm going to say it like the Miz. Correct.
Okay. So it was about 10 minutes straight of them just doing horrible Scottish accents. Maybe funny on paper, but horrible in execution.
And I actually got a chuckle out of it because I'm an idiot. So.
Yeah. Well, so am I, but I hated it. We're different kinds of idiots, I guess. So the funniest part of that whole thing was when Drew McIntyre, and this shows me that he just has free reign to kind of do whatever he wants. Like he's the guy. He just grabbed the briefcase and just chucked it at the LED thing at the entrance and broke one of the panels and was laughing hysterically, which means even if it comes out of his pocket, he doesn't care.
No, that totally was not planned. Sheamus attempted to stay in character, but he turned away from the camera and kind of bent over and did one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And then he collected himself and stayed serious. But boy, I knew that he was dying.
Yeah, for sure. So
again, another backstage segment that comes to mind is Matt Riddle, and they're really starting to irritate me with this, that he's a complete moron. He was offering people donuts, and he called them bro nuts, and it was bad. And then he came up to Jeff Hardy and said that they should be the Hardy Bros, and I was like, oh my God. Even Jeff Hardy, who has had his share of nonsense outside of the ring, called him an idiot. Basically looked at him like he was an idiot and just walked out to his music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one hurt my soul.
It hurt. I'm not gonna lie, I am laughing at every single skit, but it just frustrates me on Riddle's behalf.
Yeah, no, it really does. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I've said this before. When someone gets called up from NXT, I don't care how popular and how over they are. It's a coin flip if they're going to pan out or not.
Yep.
It's, you don't
That is
know.
accurate. Accurate. Very, very accurate.
They might or they might not.
And he interrupted another coin flip, which was Ricochet. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm going to get off the Matt Riddle topic because it's making me sad. So
other than I think that we're going to get him versus Bobby Lashley, that's the only thing that's the upside to this right now.
yeah, hopefully.
And if he wins, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they go in that direction. Retribution gets squashed in minutes, so that tells me that they're about to pull the plug on that faction.
Yeah, and Mustafa Ali just like ripped into Slapjack and Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Thorne and Mia Yim for everybody following along.
Mm-hmm. Everyone playing the home game.
Yeah. Yeah, just ripped into them and like said that, basically treated them like garbage and walked off. And seems like it's the beginning of the end for that group. I hope it's actually the end for that group, but
please,
one can only hope. We're going to keep our fingers crossed for that one.
Jesus, yes, I'm even sadder. Moving on. So they're pushing.
I'm going to keep doing this to you.
Yeah, and this is another thing that didn't make me sad, but just confused. It's like Keith Lee comes up to Sheamus in the back, and Sheamus has been pretty much working babyface, the last few weeks, being Drew McIntyre's friend and everything, and he's kind of had a little bit of a repackaging with his attire and everything. So,
which I totally dig, by the way, but
I'm cool with it.
Neither here nor there.
I like the gangs of new Sheamus. I like it.
I like it. That should be his new name.
Yeah.
He should be his own faction, Gangs of Sheamus.
Mm-hmm. So Keith Lee comes up to him and basically warns him not to turn on his best friend of 15 years, Drew McIntyre, where he has shown zero signs of turning on him, other than the fact that he's been a heel most of his career. But what is that? Like, they just started acting like friends. Like, why all of a sudden is he going to turn on him? Why rush it? And if you're going to do it, fine. Do it 6 months from now.
Yeah, I agree. And they did kind of swerve us because during that match, Sheamus hit him a couple times, once with a brogue kick, once with an elbow or a clothesline or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had like a backstage segment that, McIntyre was like, what has to happen now. And they brawled for a little bit. And then they were like, all right, let's go have a beer. And I was like, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen that.
If it was just for that to swerve us and then they never address it again, I think that'd be pretty funny.
It was funny for the night, and I actually was one of the few bright spots of the night for me.
Yeah. And really, I think Sheamus just needs something new. A babyface run, I'd be totally okay with. Don't ruin it. I mean, you saw how over he was in 2009 when he faced Triple H.
As long as you don't go down the rabbit hole that you're going to make him and Drew McIntyre a tag team and that they're going to go after the tag team titles eventually, right. That'd be dumb. Just don't do that.
Well, you just made me scared that they're going to do that because there's no tag teams left on Raw.
Stop it.
You put the idea out there. It's too late. Vince already heard it, and
No. Sheamus can go after Bobby Lashley if Riddle doesn't win it. There, I fixed it.
No, Vince already stopped listening.
Damn it.
After tag team champions,
damn it, Vince.
His eyeballs turned into dollar signs.
Maybe there's bigger dollar signs to what I just said.
No. He's thinking of Drew and Sheamus as Mattel toys and kids just buying them off the rack, even though kids don't buy toys anymore.
Sure they do.
No, they buy iPhones and iPads and video games. I don't know.
This makes me sad. You make me sadder. Is there anything else for Raw? Because can we just talk about War Games?
For the love of God, no. Let's go War Games. Raw's done.
Let's do it.
All right. First things first, the women. Oh my God. They kicked off the show, which I thought was the right call
with their War Games match.
with their War Games match. And having
There was no really any other women to pull off any other sort of match during the card, but whatever.
yeah, there was the one women's match, but it was possibly match of the night.
Yeah, you know what? I'm giving it to them.
It might be, although the men, they tried to outdo them, and
They tried.
both matches were fantastic. But the women kicked off the show. The babyface team came out last, with Shotzi Blackheart coming out last from them with her new tank, which was so dope.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and
I feel like Triple H built that thing, or had it made
with his bare hands. He built it.
It had him written all over it for me.
Mm-hmm. Totally see that. One thing that I loved it, but also kind of made me sad is, can you imagine the pop that Shotzi would have gotten coming out last with the tank? Because they pumped in the fake crowd noise of people chanting Shotzi. Can you imagine 20,000 people doing that? And I see it. Like, you have Rhea Ripley and everybody else come out, and then the lights go out for Shotzi, and then let the crowd get going, and then her music hits.
Yeah.
Would have been perfect, but
writes itself. Yeah. But this shitstorm of a year has robbed us of a lot of things,
of a lot of enjoyment,
of a lot of things that we as wrestling fans very much enjoy.
Mm-hmm. But they had an amazing match. The whole Io Shirai getting kicked out of or prevented from going into the match really frustrated me. But then there was that little payoff of, wait, the match hasn't started yet. The heels kind of screwed.
Well, you know what? They did screw themselves, but it was like all was kind of righted with that, because you almost kind of never want the baby faces to have the advantage going into War Games. You always kind of want the heels to have it.
You want to be the underdogs, yeah.
That just allowed the heels to get an advantage at some point and turn the tables, or so you thought. And good Lord, were there a lot of weapons, and weapons that I don't normally see, and weapons that I see all the time during that match.
Yeah. Trash can.
Somebody had a hammer. Somebody had a hammer.
Had a hammer. The trash can made an appearance, which is an old favorite of mine. That really.
Oh, it's always great.
That really doesn't make a lot of appearances anymore. I feel like it's 95% kendo sticks.
Now it is. Kendo sticks have taken all of a sudden. I mean, I should have invested in kendo sticks like half a year ago, because they've taken off.
That's all WWE buys and stashes under the ring, apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, the trash can made an appearance in a big way, because Io Shirai carried one up climbed the cage with one in the other hand. So I don't even know how she actually climbed the cage. But then she just dumped it over her head and dove onto everyone in the ring.
Yes, she did. That
was a great spot, and something that is ingrained in my memory forever.
And even the part where I want to say it was Dakota Kai did that almost like a coup de grace onto her in the trash can, and then she got stuck in the trash can because it got dented so bad. Yeah.
That was good. The only thing that I had against that match was there was a clearly choreographed, they were in it was a big spot.
Yeah.
It was like a mirrored spot from the two ring corners. Yeah, from the top ropes. And the camera actually caught them counting down when to do the spot.
Yeah, they counted to 3 and they did it.
And it was either Shotzi or Candice. I couldn't tell who it was that was counting it down. They were like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then they did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I don't think that. I didn't know if it was just because I had it in my headphones or that.
No, I heard it too.
I was like, I don't know if I'm going to hear that like on my TV, but either way, I heard it and it was there.
Yeah, but other than that, fantastic match. Then we had, before I move on, I like the fact.
And they gave Raquel Gonzalez the win.
Yes, I wanted to address that.
They made her into a star in that match, I think.
I think so. And she's gonna, I think, the next one vying for the title to then maybe Rhea Ripley take it from her. We'll see. But I like the fact that the heels won because I feel like, you know, these takeovers aren't as often as WWE pay-per-views. They're not every month. They're like 5 times a year or something. So baby faces win a lot. That's the only predictable thing about NXT that isn't always good, but the heels won, and I was okay with it.
Yeah, I was okay with it too. I think, and you brought that up before. You think that stable, like that team of heels, should stick around together for a little while.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Now, next we had Thatcher and Ciampa. Ouch. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Actually, just before that, we got a Balor vignette.
We did, saying that
basically that the focus will be back on him after War Games. Like, you guys have your fun, bring in, have fun with your weapons and this, that, and the other. But when come Wednesday,
all eyes go back on the Prince.
All eyes go back on the Prince, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't reference himself as a cat, so it made me very happy.
Yeah. I thought it was coming. I was like, oh, thank God. But yes, so moving on to Thatcher and Ciampa. I mean, I think they forgot to tell them that it's a scripted wrestling match, and they just fought.
Clearly Eddie Kingston ran this entire thing.
Yeah.
And they just hurt each other.
Like, yeah, he just called them and like, okay, guys, you're going to punch each other in the face. You're going to choke each other, stomp each other's hands, do all the strong style, shoot style shit. And they just, yeah, I'm still in pain from watching that match.
Yeah, that match just, it looked like it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that it did.
Oh, it did. I think at one point either Thatcher or Ciampa was bleeding from a cut in his ear. I'm surprised that was the only thing.
Yeah.
So,
and side note, just you got TiVo, you can fix this shit later.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Balor vignette ties into another teaser that we got later,
mm-hmm.
and that's just my opinion. But we'll get to that when we get there.
Mm-hmm. So Thatcher and Ciampa, great match. Grimes and Loomis, it was all right. I'm just glad that rivalry is over, hopefully.
It is over. Loomis wins. Yeah. Grimes is doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
He is the annoying heel that I want to lose every single time he walks out there. So kudos to them for getting me to feel that way. I'm glad that Dexter Loomis got the win.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was just a more believable outcome for me anyway.
I agree.
He's the bigger dude. He's going to inflict way more pain with that leather strap than Grimes ever would.
Yeah. So moving on from that, did the vignette come before or after the North American title match?
Before. We got a Karrion Kross teaser.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it may be leading straight to him versus Balor for the title. That's my opinion.
That's what I hope it is.
Because he never really lost it. He had to relinquish it due to injury. Mm-hmm. So, and that would just be chef's kiss.
Very much looking forward to it. Then after that teaser, we had the North American title match, which I was pleasantly surprised. It was a very good match.
Right up until the end shenanigans of the match.
The shenanigans at the end, Johnny Gargano wins via shenanigans, and the masked dude, at least the leader of the masked dudes, because there's like 17 of them apparently.
Yeah, there was like roughly 60.
Yeah,
give or take.
The entire locker room just put on, hey guys, run to Party City, grab some scream masks, wear something black, and come out.
Yeah, Orlando Party City's just like cashed in.
Yeah. So Austin Theory revealed himself to be the man behind the mask. And if you didn't get that hint, he told the camera about 4 times that it was me, Austin, the whole time. Austin. Yeah, we got it. We remember you.
Yeah. No, yeah, but he was, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, way too hard at me about, Vince McMahon saying that line from back in the day. when it was me, Austin. It was me the whole time. And
Dude, I didn't even realize. I didn't get the connection.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm
that was
ashamed.
definitely it. Come on.
That's okay. Yeah.
He wasn't reminding you that it was Austin Theory. He was referencing that line that only Vince McMahon should ever say.
Wow, I'm embarrassed. Okay, moving on.
Well, ha ha ha.
Right. Well, yeah, you got me on that one. All right.
Then we got the men's War Games match.
Yes.
Or War Games. That's how I'm going to say it. Hell of a match.
Hell of a match. It was a total spot fest, but these matches often are.
But you know what? Pat McAfee did a picture-perfect moonsault onto a table, and I was thoroughly impressed. The guy's only been doing this for like 5 minutes.
What about the swanton off the cage?
Also that.
Mm-hmm.
I was in awe of this man, even though I wanted him to lose.
Yeah. And then he goes on his podcast with a neck brace. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that. That's pretty awesome.
He has, one of those white neck brace things, cushiony
sure.
ones. I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing it for storyline purposes, that he's not really hurt, because he's like that dedicated to it. But
maybe
you never know. He might have hurt himself with all the crap he did in the ring.
Yeah, and lots of dangerous spots as usual. And side note, all of the Undisputed Era was wearing red. Does that mean that they're going to Raw? We'll see.
I don't know. I think it was just new gear. I don't think it had anything to do with Raw.
Maybe.
I don't think
it's not going to be anytime soon. I just thought maybe that was being alluded to, because I do think we're going to get another Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole.
Probably.
Or perhaps there's a handing of the baton within the UE, because Kyle O'Reilly got the win. Maybe he's the new leader.
That's true. That's a good point. So maybe Adam Cole is the one getting called up soon.
Maybe. And maybe Pat McAfee will have an issue with Kyle O'Reilly getting the win, and they'll have a match, which would be equally brutal.
Yeah. Much respect to Pat McAfee for what he's done so far.
I was not sold on him when he came over, but I'm on the train.
He's great. And I think it was CM Punk that came out and said at one point that the rest of the NXT locker room should be ashamed of themselves because Pat McAfee is out promoting all of them.
Well, that's, he has a podcast. He's been doing this for potentially longer than any of them on a larger scale.
Yeah. Dude knows how to talk.
It also goes to show you how good that promo school was while Dusty Rhodes was alive and in charge of it, versus what it is now.
Right.
So,
agreed.
R.I.P. Dusty.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he is definitely missed.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, that was War Games.
And Raw, which we tore apart a little bit.
Yeah, tore apart, pooped on, and lit it on fire. So, but War Games was solid, man. I really enjoyed it. And then, little side note before we go, we had, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. I should have texted you earlier. The Impact interview with Don.
I watched the 11-minute interview thing. That was impressive. I liked it. It did everything that it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
It made not that I wasn't going to watch Dynamite, but it made me want to watch Dynamite even more.
Yeah, the hint they're hinting Lex Luger. Like that was the hint that Kenny Omega gave Don Callis, like the surprise.
Yeah, but that was also that may just be like a reference, because in a similar style interview back in the day, Lex Luger gave one from his own tour bus.
Yeah, I knew it's going to have something to do with the bus. I remember that from.
So it might have something to do with that. Maybe Lex Luger just shows up with his bus, or they end up having Lex Luger's bus. My biggest takeaway was that they like teased it a couple times that AEW just might buy Impact.
Maybe.
Tony Khan did that because there was like a paid for advertisement by Dynamite or by Tony Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And like toward the end of it, he was like, you know what? I have a lot of money. Maybe I'll just buy your company.
Such a baller move. Yeah, and I just, for anyone that doubted if Kenny Omega still had it, he put those doubts to rest as far as promo work goes.
He has it. That was just phenomenal. The whole thing that like, you know, that it didn't come together last minute. This has been together like for 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that Don Callis was actually the one responsible, quite literally, for Kenny Omega going against Jericho in New Japan. And
that's why we have AEW.
He created that, and he basically said that that's what created AEW. So all of that was great.
Fantastic stuff. And I like the little WWE references that he was using to jab at Josh Matthews. It's like, hey, you were a friend of Ambrose. Tough Enough season 1. That was great. And then I think at the end of the interview, he said something like, all right, back to Stanford. Something like that. Yes. But that was great and got me very interested in what's going to happen there. Is Omega going to go and collect belts elsewhere? I doubt it. I think he's just messing with us. I think it's just going to be, you know.
Maybe we'll see how this pans out and how much it truly benefited Impact.
Mm-hmm.
See how much viewership spiked last night. Just by having Kenny Omega on, they tied it in a little bit because like the Impact champion Rick Swann was not allowed to leave the building because the parking lot was shut down because the champion was here.
That was funny,
and that was great. It's just cool. I'm gonna cross my fingers that in 40 minutes or so from when we're recording this, we're gonna at some point get the Good Brothers on AEW.
Keep an eye out for that if you're watching right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And we're going to do our usual recap of the Wednesday Night Wars, most likely tomorrow. We're recording this Wednesday evening. And yeah, until then, we are much more active now on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Scoop on the Slams on Instagram, and I think just at the Slams on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
Something like that? Okay. Just type it in, you'll find it. Close enough. Yep. Until then, guys, see you next time.
Yeah. Share, like, and subscribe. And until next time, we're Scoop on the Slams.
Yes. That's a good sign off. We'll use that from now on.